Hey, my name is Ryan, and today I'm going to do something that seems to be an oxymoron. I'm going to go over how you can do an affordable shell cordovan shoe restoration. Now, I know you don't normally see those two things together, affordable and shell cordovan, but I found this pair of shoes while thrift store shopping, and it's a pair of Allen Edmonds Bradleys. They're hand welted Norwegian split toe in black shell cordovan, awesome shoes for $20. And I want to see how inexpensively I can restore the uppers of these shoes. What I want to get an idea of is if you find these, it's your only pair of shell cordovan, there's no reason to go out and buy Saphir's line of products for shell cordovan for one inexpensive pair. So taking things that the average shoe guy would have on him, can you make these things look really good? That's what we're going to see today. So thank you for clicking on the video, and I hope you enjoy. All right, here's what we're going to use for the restoration. Now, I took the laces out, basically, to make it look more dramatic, but it came with laces. It came with good laces, but all right, I digress. So you're gonna need the shoes, some shoe trees, preferably ones that are a little more solid on top like this, not the split ones. We've got some denatured alcohol. This is kind of an optional thing. I'm going to strip off any old finish that was on there, but you don't need to do that. I have Big Four. It's an inexpensive conditioner. Any leather conditioner, really, you're not using that for what you think you're gonna use that for. We'll get to that in a minute. And then Venetian shoe cream. So I think this is gonna be the secret sauce of the restoration. Horween Leather, they recommend Venetian shoe cream for their shell cordovan. You can get this for $10 on Amazon, so you might not have this, but you can use this on your calfskin too. But this is the secret sauce. And the spoon, some of you will know what this is all about, but we're going to use this spoon to get rid of the wrinkles in the upper. Now, a lot of more refined YouTube creators who work with shell cordovan will recommend ebony stick or deer bone, and yes, you can absolutely use those. Those will probably be better than this, but Nick Horween, I heard a podcast where he said he thinks you can get the same result with just a spoon. So we're gonna see. Let's use the spoon and see if we can get this out, and then we'll use one brush. I know that goes against all shoe care, but we'll use this one brush. So maybe you have these things, maybe you don't, maybe you have to pick up a couple, but this is kind of like the bare minimum. See what we can get out of this restoration for these shell shoes. Say that 5 times over. So I'm starting off with the denatured alcohol, and I have to admit this is for a completely selfish reason. When I first bought my first pair of shell cordovan shoes from Allen Edmonds, I put normal brown shoe cream on them because I didn't have anything for specifically for shell, and I just didn't like how they turned out. So I was wondering if I could strip the shoe cream off easily with acetone. So I thought I would test the acetone on these sheet pair to see how the leather reacts, the shell reacts. And to be honest with you, I wouldn't use it on my nice pair. It takes off a lot of finish, but I would just use saddle soap next. I think you can get most of that shoe cream off of there with just a saddle soap, but I wanted to try it on this. It doesn't ruin the leather. It doesn't really damage the leather at all. It's just definitely not the best product to use to strip. It's pretty harsh. The paper towel leaves a lot of fuzz, so I'm going to buff them out and see what they look like after the alcohol bath. And I want to apologize right now. I have had a cold ever since I got back from vacation, so my voice sounds terrible, but we're powering through, because we got to do the important work here. We take our super advanced shell cordovan tool, otherwise known as the household spoon, and use Big Four. Now, Big Four isn't here to condition the leather. It's here just to be a lubricant between the spoon and the shell. And what you're going to do is you're just going to use pretty hard pressure on those creases with that spoon and just try to flatten it out. Now, this takes a long time. Some people say this takes up to an hour per shoe. That is insanity. And I'll admit, after my first 10 minutes on the first pair of shoes or the first shoe, I was convincing myself that the creases in shell cordovan are what make it so unique. But I'm just going through here, putting pressure on it, and you will get rid of a lot of the creases. It'll just give the shoe a fresh look while also making it still look like shell cordovan. I spent about 15 minutes per shoe. I didn't record the whole thing because that would be extremely boring, but enjoy as I smooth out the creases. Here's my shout out to the greatest shoe cobbler on the internet of all time, Beato's Leatherworks. What he does, and I've only seen him do this on calfskin, I think, but he just rolls the leather. Leather has a memory, shell has a memory, so you're not going to get rid of it completely, but just rolling the leather across the creases. It did help pull out some of the creases, so you could do this for as long, as little as you like. And you see some of those deep creases on the shoe. That's from the Norwegian split toe design, and those just aren't coming out. This is after I used the spoon method. Looks pretty good. I'm happy with it. This is all the time I've got to put into the crease, especially for these cheap pairs, especially when you, again, look at what they look like before. They look a lot better. 15 minutes per shoe, that's not too bad. And the results are dramatic. Now applying the Venetian shoe cream. You're supposed to apply this with a cloth, I will admit. But you know what? I like applying it with my hands. When I was a woodworker, I built furniture for 10 years. And the last thing we would do is we would hand rub a finish. And basically, you're using your hand and everything on it, your fingerprints and so forth, as a super fine sandpaper that rubs out the piece of furniture. And I kind of like this with my shoes. It's a stupid thing, but just feeling the shoes, again, don't don't recommend it. Do what the pros say. Use a cloth. Don't use your hands. You don't want to destroy your hands. But here I'm just rubbing in the Venetian shoe cream. Then I will buff it and we'll see how it turns out. The not so final verdict on these shoes is they look really good. They look really nice, will last a long time. But I want to take these to another level. I'm calling an audible as I often do. And what I'm going to do is take my black shoe cream, my calfskin shoe cream, and apply a layer to it and see if we can bring up the shine just a little bit more. These look really good how they stand, but let's see if we can do a little bit more with just the normal stuff that a shoe guy would have on hand. We're going to buff it out with the cloth, and that's really going to pull out more of the shine. And I do think it's worth it. I know it's not a Saphir black shoe cream for shell Cordovan that costs $5,000. No, I'm kidding. But just a regular old black shoe cream really did help these shoes a lot. And all in all, I think these shoes turned out great. They really buffed out nice, and you can see the before and after right here. I did put a sole protector on these shoes because I plan on selling them, and this will give the shoes another year or so of heavy wear that they can endure before the new owner needs to get them resold. But I did this off camera, of course. If you want to see a video of how I do this, it's not the best. It's definitely not the best. I actually learned how to do this online on YouTube on a channel, Robert Powers. So Robert Powers YouTube, he's a kind of an at-home shoe cobbler, easy fix shoe cobbler. So he does a lot of good step-by-step tutorials. But these shoes turned out amazing. They're one size too small for me. I can cram my foot in these, but I already have a pair of Norwegian split toe shell Cordovan shoes, so I'm going to sell these off. Hopefully, they'll get lots of life after this. But for the cheapest pair of shoes or shell Cordovan shoes that you can get, I think these turned out amazing. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments, and have a good one.